Welcome on into the Kiwi Football Fix. I'm Goran Paladin, and all eyes should start to just, take a good hard look at the middle of June. If you're a New Zealand football fan, you'll know why. We've got that Intercontinental Playoff up against Costa Rica, and it's only a month and a half away. Remember, if we are successful in that match, we go to only our third World Cup in history. We're up against the Costa Ricans, though, and they've made a habit in the 21st century of heading to the FIFA World Cup. Only once have they missed out since the turn of the century. So it's with great pleasure and joy that I'm able to bring into the Kiwi Football Fix now one of the Costa Rican central defenders, Kendall Waston. Great to have you on the show, mate. How are you?
Hello, I'm wonderful. Having a nice day here in summer.
Brilliant. Mate, you and the New Zealanders, our All Whites, are 90 minutes away from the World Cup in Qatar. New Zealand stands in your way. What do you know about our All Whites?
Well, we know that, especially last game that they play against Isla, in Spanish we call it Isla Salomon. So we know that they have great players. I have a good guy over there, Stefan. I played with him 2 long years in Vancouver, so it was great to have him. And we have to be careful with especially the number 9, the striker. We know about his potential and guys in the midfield as well, but they have a great team.
Before we start talking about your one-on-one or your specific duel coming up against Chris Wood, our expert marksman, let's talk about Stefan Marinovic, because he's an interesting sort of person. He's a crazy goalkeeper. What were your experiences like with Stefan at Vancouver Whitecaps?
You know what is something so strange about him is that, I don't know, after trainings, he went to make a course of pilot. He want to fly planes. So he did it. And I say, Stefan, I don't trust you, my friend. I'm not going to be in that plane with you.
I was going to say, man, you wouldn't trust him, would you? Like, he's just flying solo.
He's so crazy. He's crazy. I just can't imagine him doing crazy stuff in the air.
He's not the quintessential New Zealander, okay? So just keep that in mind. A lot of us are a lot different to Stefan Marinovic.
He's special.
Oh, he's special, all right. Let's talk about Chris Wood, Kendall, because you'll be going one-on-one with our wonderful marksman. He's the leading goal scorer for the All Whites across history, plays for Newcastle United in the Premier League. What are you looking forward to about that challenge?
Well, it's going to be really interesting. He obviously playing in a top league, and he have great movement. Obviously, his teammates always look to make a lot of crosses to look for him and goals. That's why they have been successful. And well, we got to be careful about him.
But this is where you come to the fore, Kendall, because you're not exactly a midget or a tiny person, because you are quite an impressive specimen, standing at 6'5", 90 kilograms. So when you talk about the threat of Chris Wood aerially, getting those headers, you must back yourself against him in that area.
Well, yes, I got to do my job, I'm going to make it interesting and not easy for him and the other strikers. But yes, it's going to be a hard game because, it's just one game and anything can happen.
Do you think it might also be a case of contain Chris Wood and you've contained the All Whites? Is it that simple?
It's not simple, but if we know their key players, we the most that we can have them away to their best potential. Obviously, for us, it's gonna be not easy, but it's gonna be a better game, looking in ourselves.
Now, the All Whites are quite strong through the middle of the park. Obviously, they've got Chris Wood up the top, and down the back, you've got Winston Reid, who played many seasons with West Ham in the English Premier League. And you yourself, Kendall, as a central defender, what do you see in Winston Reid that are wonderful qualities for a central defender?
Yeah, he's obviously really great in the air and with the ball, getting out from behind and looking the ball between lines and those things, always trying to penetrate and take away the opponent pressure. So he's a really smart guy, and well, New Zealand have a great center defender.
Between now and June 14, what kind of approach does Costa Rica take? Is it one where you look inwardly and make sure that you can do your jobs come June 14, or do you spend a little bit or a lot of time on what the All Whites, what New Zealand can achieve on June 14?
Well, at this moment, the majority of us are focusing in our tournament, our season over here in Costa Rica. But meanwhile, we are watching videos and making our duties, right? To know what New Zealand do good and what we can take advantage as well. So every little details can help us to achieve that goal.
So what are you thinking? Are they going to dominate possession, New Zealand, or will you have the lion's share of possession? Will it be a case of New Zealand are trying to catch Costa Rica, or the other way around?
You like to make some tricky questions, huh?
That's my job, Kendall. That's my job, man.
I can answer this. It's gonna be an interesting game.
Interesting game indeed. Look, we've obviously got a number of players who we think will threaten you. What about Costa Rica? Other than yourself, who are the players to look out for in the middle of June in this Intercontinental Playoff?
Well, I know like New Zealand guys already, they kind of know about us. And like Joel Campbell, have been great with us. Brian Rees and Anthony Contreras, few guys that are having a great season right now. So hopefully for us, they can be in their best time, in the best date, so we can have a great moment in that match.
How frustrating is it, Kendall, that you even have to play this game? Because when you look at CONCACAF qualifying, you finished in red-hot form. You were unbeaten in the last 7. You finished on the same number of points as USA, and they get direct qualification to Qatar later this year. So how frustrating was it that the form came too late in that CONCACAF qualifying?
Yes, a lot, because when we look back, we saw like those games that we draw at home, especially that we lose those points. So like we regret about those games, that at this moment, if we would have won it, obviously we would have qualified direct with no problems. But it is what it is. We cannot like complain about it. We have one more chance, and hopefully we can get it.
And how much confidence do you take, even though there was the disappointment that you didn't get direct qualification, how much confidence can you take from those results against the likes of Canada and USA? You've beaten the best teams in CONCACAF.
Yes, it's great for us, for each individual, and obviously for all the team, because it wasn't no easy games. But now we just have like our mind focused on Qatar. So yes, we're gonna play against New Zealand. There's a great team, but our main focus is Qatar, and that kind of bring us like the more joy and the expectation about that game.
Now, there is a little bit of sadness down here in New Zealand that we don't get the home and away two-leg playoff system this time around. It's a one-off game in Qatar. You know, I think back to 2009, 2013, 2017, and we had these amazing occasions in Wellington, New Zealand. A lot of people would travel from all around to make sure that they witness history, and we did see that in 2009 when we beat Bahrain. So I suppose it's a long-winded way of saying, how do you feel about playing just this one-off game, 90 minutes, winner takes all, in a neutral venue as well, Kendall?
Yeah, it's kind of strange. It kind of take away like a little bit of the passion, in the sense that, okay, you're not playing either away, you're home in the opponent home, neither our place. So each one can take advantage of their home. But like, football change, and in 90 minutes, like now we just have 90 minutes and anything can happen. So you got to be the most focused possible to win this game.
Hypothetically speaking, if we were to play a two-legged playoff game, what could the All Whites and New Zealand fans expect from a Costa Rican home crowd? How would they receive us? And would it just be noise, noise, noise from go to woe?
Well, it would be, it would have been interesting because they make a lot of noise from the beginning until the end, but as well, they are really respectful. So I think like New Zealand players will enjoy being in Costa Rica.
Well, last time we played Peru, and they had planes flying over the top of the hotel, keeping us up at night. And I think there were lasers in the crowd, shining it in the eyes of the players. So, could you give me some guarantee that that wouldn't have happened had we played in Costa Rica?
Yes, that wouldn't happen, like having some planes flying over the hotel, but for sure there could be like a carnival down the stairs, to try to wake up all the players at night.
Oh, yeah, okay. So sort of, yeah, more of the same but kind of different as well. Now, look, Kendall,
Yes.
you provide a lot of experience to this Costa Rican squad. You were a massive part as to why they qualified in 2018 Russia. So how valuable do you think your experience is for this squad heading into the Intercontinental Playoff and hopefully, for your sake, the World Cup?
Yes, well, these games are keys, and obviously the players that have more experience in this match, we had a step up. We have a lot of young players, and they are willing to have a great experience and have a historic moment for them. So we speak to them a lot and try to tell them that every moment is special and they gotta just give 100% on each game.
And do you have to do a little bit of work guarding against complacency, thinking that, well, we're Costa Rica, we're ranked 31st in the world, and we're coming up against New Zealand and they're not even ranked inside the top 100. So do you need to keep reminding the players? You're shaking your head. Clearly, you don't have to guard against complacency.
We always say that we have to respect each team, every team, because it's football game, and nowadays anything can happen. Like the best team can lose against the worst team in the papers. So New Zealand have top players, so we respect them a lot, and we are going with the mindset that okay, this is our unique chance to go to Qatar, and we have to give it all.
Kendall, you've had some truly special moments when it comes to qualifying and going to the FIFA World Cup. First of all, I want to talk about your goal that you scored against Honduras. Wind the clock back, back to 2017. You've got a game in hand, but you get the job done. It's 1-1. And who rises like a salmon to nod the ball home for 1-1 but this guy? Take us back there. What was that experience like?
Wow, that experience was wonderful. I think it's my best moment in football because, yes, how you said, it took us to Russia, and because I did have an interesting part before that, going to Brazil. I didn't make the final list, so this was like my personal revenge. And scoring that goal that take us to Russia was the best thing ever.
I was watching some of the vision, Kendall, and obviously you and your teammates are in absolute raptures and diving all over each other. And then it shows some vision of the Honduras bench. And you've got guys absolutely destroying the dugout and just going absolutely mental. Like, put us in that moment. What was it like, the euphoria that you were experiencing and the devastation that Honduras were?
Yes, as soon as I see that ball getting the goal, I didn't know how to celebrate. I was thinking, I'm gonna do this. No, my friend, I didn't know how to celebrate. I just went running around like a crazy guy. I see everybody jumping. My teammates come close to me. So it was a really nice experience, especially the moment that it happened. It was just like 2 minutes before the final whistle, and seeing the other players like devastated totally because they was qualifying direct to the World Cup, but just during that game, it was totally different.
Yeah, totally different, man. And obviously, it didn't end there for you because when you got to Russia, yes, you sat down on the bench for a couple of games, but you were given an opportunity against Switzerland. Tell us about how sweet it was to get on the pitch and then drill yet another header. It's like it's your specialty, getting forward and using that head of yours to secure a World Cup goal. That's the sort of thing that kids dream about, mate.
Oh yes, I did dream it so much. Just being in the World Cup is a dream come true, and more scoring, for your national team and making an historic thing for your country. In that game, I was like, oh, I wanted to play the 2 games before, but I didn't get the chance. So that game was just go and play, enjoy the moment that you will. So it was wonderful to score that goal again in New Zealand.
Having those experiences, the joy of the Honduras match, the elation of scoring a goal at a World Cup against Switzerland, how does that motivate you to produce the same results in 2022?
Well, I know that hard work pay off sooner or later. Like everybody want to score 3 goals each game. It's not gonna be possible, but as soon as you work hard, like your goal is gonna be closer and closer, and that is my mindset. First, defend as good as possible. Try to have my goalkeeper in a like sleeping. I say, I don't want he make too much job. When the goalkeeper have a lot of job, is because I'm not making my work good. So that is what I want as number one. And after, when I go to the corner kicks or free kicks, try to head the goal with my big head.
Well, just between you and I, Kendall, I want your goalkeeper to be very, very, very busy on June 14. Nothing personal, nothing
No,
personal.
it's not a deal. It's not a deal.
Hey, I read something recently where you said that you dream of the World Cup every day. How much time does it occupy in that brain of yours, the dream, the desire to go back to the World Cup, your second ever?
Oh, is a lot. Is also something that you don't want to be stressful, but it's always on your mind because it's a unique moment. It's not many players that can have this blessing, because millions of players want to be there, but just few of them can be there. So I don't want this chance take away from me.
Now, we've spoken about your time in the MLS. You spent a number of seasons at the Vancouver Whitecaps, but you actually began your professional career at Deportivo Saprissa in Costa Rica. That was way back in 2006. You're back there now. What led you back to your first ever professional club?
Well, with this pandemic, everything changed. My family was here. There was some family situations that was going on, and we was thinking, well, do we go back and be close to them or not? Also, like football wise, also I was thinking to be closer so I can always be joining my national team, and there was those things that especially put me in the mindset, okay, it's time to go back to Costa Rica and play with my first team that I start to playing, professionally, and also to give back to the young players, like everything like that I learned in the US and those things.
Well, some players don't take that approach. They can be quite selfish, can't they? And they take what the game gives them and then they move on. So why is it important to you to give back to some of the younger players coming through in Costa Rica?
Yeah, like for me, the way I see things is I feel more happy when I give than when I receive. So, like giving back those things that being like any advice or whatever is gonna be something helpful for other people, you know. So those players that don't have much experience playing in another country, they can see the football in at another side, another way, and they can try to be like as successful that they can.
It's really cool. When you think about when you first started with Saprissa back in 2006 and where they are now and where the league in Costa Rica is now, how much has it changed? How much has it improved?
It had to improve a lot. Like long time ago, it was like a disaster. Now the fields are much better. Like every things things are improving, and you can see like Saprissa is like the number one team that export players in another to sell players. You know, so um, I feel a lot of passion about this team, and yeah, like I'm just happy to be back.
How much longer have you got? How long do you want to play with Saprissa?
Well, you know, this is our sport, and obviously, if I have another opportunity in the US or in New Zealand,
Why
you
not?
never
Why
know.
not? Look, we've
Yes.
had Costa Rican players before for the Wellington Phoenix. I mean, what can you tell me about? Do
Oh,
you
yeah.
know Kenny Cunningham? Do you know Carlos
Kenny,
Hernandez?
yes. Yes, he's a great friend of mine. Like, wow, we are from the same town. We grew up almost together, and yeah, and with Carlos Hernandez, we play again. So I know those two players, and it was a great experience for them. What I hear about.
Well, look, mate, if you play your cards right, I know the Wellington Phoenix general manager, and you know we're struggling for central defenders. We could get you down to New Zealand, maybe next A-League season. What do you say?
Okay, I take you to dinner, my friend.
It'll be a long dinner, mate. It'll go all weekend. I promise you that much. Hey, Kendall, just before we let you go, mate, and thanks so much for your time, I need a prediction from you. What happens on
Okay.
June 14 when Costa Rica meets New Zealand for a spot in the World Cup finals? What happens?
What happens for me? We win.
Yeah, and chances are you managed to rise at the back stick and nod one in, probably in time added on, you jammy bastard. Kendall Waston, been so good talking to you on the Kiwi Football Fix, mate. You're my new favourite Costa Rican footballer, but I still don't want you to beat the All Whites in June 14. Thank you so much for your time, mate, and hopefully you're not a stranger to the show.
Thank you for the opportunity, and hopefully I'm not a stranger in the show. I could be again. Just don't call me when here is like 3 a.m., please. I'm just joking.
I'll keep it in mind, man. Thank you so much, Kendall. I appreciate your time, man.
Thank you. See you soon.
Oh, Kendall, he was so good. You almost want the Costa Ricans to win, but we can't have that. Costa Rica up against New Zealand's All Whites, June 14. It will be live on Sky Sport. Football coming up, though. Wellington Phoenix, they've got the Melbourne Victory this Friday night, 9:45 p.m. You can catch the action live on Sky Sport 7, BN Sports. As for me, I'll catch you next time on the Kiwi Football Fix. We'll see you in 7 days.